Welcome to Amazing World Channel.
GettyMichael Russell has slammed the EU for making demands from Scotland without explaining the background to the situation. He told the SNP party conference in Glasgow, "Most of us will profoundly and painfully agree that, as Alan Smith put to in the National on Friday, the EU has proven that it's not good in a crisis. Now that crisis is one of demands, and one that got from our First Minister a complete and unequivocal rejection of any and every attack on democracy and self-determination. But at the same time, we mustn't throw the baby out with the bathwater, because at its best the EU is about peace, social justice and prosperity for all." The Scottish Brexit minister laid out his vision for Scotland's future with the EU. He insisted that Scotland wanted to remain a full member state, as the Tories had no right to take away their right to membership. The minister also wants to see the UK remain a part of the customs union and single market. The SNP wants to press ahead with their plans for Brexit and a second independence referendum, but say they won't be bullied by the EU. However, Brexit has put the union of the UK's four nations under strain, because Scotland and Northern Ireland voted to remain, while Wales and England voted to leave. Nicola Sturgeon still wants to hold a second vote on independence. The parties are now fighting over what new relationship is needed with the bloc after 40 years of shared trade and politics. It comes as Theresa May has seen her authority over the Conservatives erode since June's snap election, in which she lost her parliamentary majority. First Minister Nicola Sturgeon had originally wanted to hold a second vote on independence sometime between autumn 2018 and the spring of 2019, but reconsidered this after the SNP lost 21 MPs in June's election. But she was clear that having a vote on leaving the UK must remain an option for Scotland, where 62% of voters backed Remain in 2016, so the country could avoid a Brexit disaster. The First Minister said, "Brexit is not a circumstance I want to be in. I think the whole thing is a disaster, and I think it is going to get worse. So I've tried to judge things as best as I can based on the best interests of Scotland. I think we will have to have some clarity towards the end of next year, because the exit point is March 2019 and Europe says, and I think Theresa May accepts this, there will be a period of ratification of whatever has been agreed. I think that is the point, to take a fresh look at it, at timing." With the UK due to leave the European Union in March 2019, Ms Sturgeon was clear she did not want Scotland to feel as if it's got no options but to accept a bad deal. The First Minister said, "I have a mandate, a hard-won mandate in an election reinforced since then, to give people a choice over our future once we do know the terms of Brexit, whether that is a deal, no deal, or a terrible deal look like. That is the option that has to be there for Scotland. Not to have the inevitability of being taken down a damaging path by Westminster, but to have the option of choosing something different." Scotland's Deputy First Minister John Swinney said negotiations had faltered due to Tory infighting. "I won't consider the timing of that until we've got that clarity, but it has to be an option for people, because otherwise we are in this position of having no control over our own future." Meanwhile, Scotland's Deputy First Minister John Swinney told the conference that the negotiations with Europe had become even more difficult because of the squabbling in the cabinet. Mr Swinney said that Mrs May and the Tories were in complete and utter disarray. He said, "Friends, there is chaos on the left and chaos on the right, and through it all the SNP stands firm." "We are the one and only party in Scotland that is national in reach, in scope, and in perspective. We are truly the national party of all of Scotland,